Thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith, and this is the sport. First story, earlier today, the Court of Arbitration for Sports highest governing body, overturned all punishments imposed by the Ghana Football Association on the more in terms of what this means and how far-reaching it will be precedent-wise. Tomorrow on our sports show on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 at 1:15 in the afternoon to 3 p.m. Fento Tahiri will be hosting that, and we'll be seated and we'll have a bigger discussion on that. Moving on to the story that veteran sports commentator Joe Lartey Sr., a.k.a. Over to You, has advised the leadership of the Ghana Football Association to avoid loathing or hating in governance of football. Speaking in a yet-to-be televised Prime Take interview tomorrow, the Venerable Lartey, who is 96 years old, he's 96 years old, almost 100 years old, noted that politics and the desire for money have negatively impacted the growth of Ghana's football from the very beginning.
Well, they have to clean their heads. I intend visiting sooner than later. I intend visiting the present head of football.
Ket.
With his name is
Keto
Fluku. I want to visit him. And then we have a little chat. Maybe the little experience that I have, a little, I just give it to him. If he takes it, okay. If he doesn't, he is right there. You know, I intend doing that.
When you say they have to clean their heads, what does it mean?
Yeah, they should remove prejudice. They should remove hatred. They should remove unnecessary competition. They should, well, anything negative should be out of their heads. Let them think about football and Ghana. And let them say to themselves, we are here to make Ghana great in football. And it will happen. Let them develop positive thinking all the time. They should completely banish the things that have destroyed many things in Ghana today.
And i.e. the politics, isn't it?
Yeah, the politics. Politics is becoming the...
Football too is becoming very political.
It has already become political. Everybody is interested in football. People are making money out of it, except the Lartey. I never made money out of football.
Oh, you didn't make money in football?
Oh, no, I didn't.
What happened?
My mother told me a good name is better than riches. And I have stuck to that till now. Whether it's good or not, you ask me, I'll tell you.
Good name is better than riches. I mean, he's 96 years old. He probably knows what he's talking about. That interview airs tomorrow at 7 a.m. on this channel, and you can get it on Joy Prime as well. Then later, it will be available on YouTube. That's on Joy News. That's our YouTube channel. From football, we move to athletics. Yesterday, by this time, my colleague Fento Tahiri was in charge of a panel that talked about Team Ghana getting ready for the upcoming World Athletics Championships in Budapest. And it came out that there are some concerns about the performances of athletes in recent months. The country's 100-meter team have struggled to produce sub-10 performances. The 200-meter and long jump athletes have also not put up convincing numbers. But the head coach of the team that is going to Budapest to represent Ghana, Dr. Andrew Owusu, tells us that there is no cause for alarm.
Because you can have athletes run fairly early in the season and then struggle later on, right? So it's about peaking at the right time. So let's use Joe Paul as an example. Yes, he ran 994 last year, but if you remember in Mauritius, Joe struggled, right? I think he ran at 2070 something in the 200. The way the qualification system is set up, unlike say maybe 5-6 years ago, that automatic standard is extremely high, right? And to be honest with you, with automatic standard, yes, you run it once, but then you are going to have people who are coming in through the second route of qualification. And in this case, we are talking about the ranking system where you are using an average, the top 5 performances, average of the top 5 performances. And so if you look at that average performance, it might actually be better than somebody who may have run, one time very fast and had issues. Having said that, as CEO mentioned, right around April going into May, the times that collectively they were running, especially on those who would be on the 4x1 team, was much faster than last year, which is on average, right? And so at least on the 4x1 side, they were pegged to perform better. I think maybe later on in the conversation, we can talk about what's happened between the end of the U.S. collegiate season and where we are right now.
Nigeria, and get some perspective about why this win is so important. Queen John is a journalist and my colleague as well. Queen, good evening and thank you for staying up for this. Queen, if you can kindly unmute. Okay, good evening.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for joining us on Joy News.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening.
And congratulations on topping the group so far. I know the job is not done, but this is pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very big. The whole country is still in celebration mode. We're still joyous. Even for people who have not been following the Women's World Cup, the Super Falcons have given them something to really cheer, something to really follow. Having drawn Canada in that first game, I think it gave the fans and also Nigerians a lot of motivation because at first they thought that the group was going to be very, very tough, facing the Olympic champions, Canada, and also Australia, who are ranked number 10. Even Ireland are also ranked highly ahead of us. So it was quite difficult for some fans to accept that we're going to come out of this group. And also judging by what has happened off the field in the last couple of weeks and months between Randy Waldrum and the Nigeria Football Federation.
That's the coach of the team. The coach of the team.
Yes, I'm looking at the fact that at the WAFCON, we finished fourth. That's unheard of. For a very long time, the Super Falcons have not finished fourth. So it was looking like this is not the coach for us. So coming at the back of all of that, and then drawing Canada, then taking it to Australia, getting the shocking victory on the co-host, I think it's massive. It's still joy all over social media and all over the country concerning this victory because a lot they say coming, and it is coming at a time that they also stand a very good chance of making it to the group, to the next round. And they also have a boost. They have a boost in the sense that they have $30,000 already guaranteed for playing the group stage from FIFA. And then you now have another $30,000 that should come to you if you get to the knockout stage. And good enough for an African team.
This is for each player. This is for each player.
Yeah, each player.
Wow.
Each player. So it is not going to come through to the NFF. It's going to go directly to the player. So there's a lot of motivation to play for. If you cannot play for pride, you need to play for the money. And you know, for African players, you have to play for the money. Because for African players, they face a lot of challenges financially. We could look back at what the South Africans also battled off the field as well before they played their first game with the federation and all of that, welfare and all of that. So it is peculiar to the women's football. Women's football really not taken care of like the men's football. So if they have to die on the pitch to make sure they get to the next round, they have to because there is money at stake.
There's money at stake.
There is money at stake. There is money at stake. This is not back in the days where they'll have to wait for the NFF, they'll have to protest, they have to wait and wait. This time around, it's coming directly to their purse and directly to their account. But I think that was enough motivation. And also for the fact that being 9-time champions, most experienced African team at the World Cup, you really don't go past the quarterfinals. The last time we got to the quarterfinals was in 1999. In 2019, we got to the round of 16. So we need to take it a step further. And I think all of this motivation put together was what made the girls go out there against Australia. And Australia, they underrated us.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview coming from Caitlin Ford, the number 9 of Australia, who came in as a backup for Sam Kerr and also Mary Fowler, who even got injured. She was saying she was going to score a hat-trick against Nigeria. So it was that bad that they had underrated us. They were looking at us as the whipping girls of the group. But we shocked them. We proved to them that you can't just come and get the victory, and we silenced the whole stadium. So it's been joy galore, and we are all happy that the Super Falcons got this victory. is enough. We're in pole position to make it to the next round. It's just for us to just wrap it all up against Ireland.
Right. Queen John, thank you very much. Your enthusiasm and your celebratory mood is infectious. We wish you all the best. Your final game is against Ireland, who have already been kicked out of the competition, and Australia need to beat Canada in a must-win game if they want to advance. It's going to be amazing. Meanwhile, Zambia became the first African team to go out of the group after 2 games. They conceded 10 goals as well. So you win some, you lose some for Africa. We'll see how it goes.